Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac. Welcome back to the channel and to the game of the week from Wargame Design Studio. Wellingtons Peninsular War, Napoleonic battles, man. So I still have a pretty bad cold. You might hear it in my voice. It's kind of, but I'm getting better. But so we're going to be showcasing this. I want to thank Wargame Design Studio for this showcase of the game as well. And this is actually going to be taking part in my Napoleonic coverage. I've been running that for quite a while now on the channel. I've had, as you guys who are following me, sort of a break in my recordings due to the summer and all kinds of shit that went down. But I'm resuming my coverage of the complete Napoleonic wars, Napoleonic battles in chronological order, man. But since this is the game of the week, it's actually fits quite well in because the latest game I did was Bonaparte's Peninsular War, and so this is a continuation of the Spanish ulcer, the big mistake or the big problem that Napoleon faced that he never knew he was going to have trying to subdue and conquer Spain and Portugal. So this will fit very well into the as a continuation of Bonaparte's Peninsular War. This is actually Wellington, this famous British general that came ashore in Portugal, rallied troops, and were commanding both British and Portuguese troops, and trying to help to liberate Spain from the French. So let's have a look at the website there. My history is a bit rusty. So this is the game of the week. Yeah. So what you got is, yeah. I think if you guys remember that far when I recorded Bonaparte's Peninsular War, is that Ekmul and Wigam. What's it called? Let's go in here. There's a couple of titles that sort of plays out simultaneously, so it's very hard to actually make them in chronological order. But you have Ekmul, no, not Ekmul, Wagam, and is it Ekmul? I think it is. These are the Austrians' campaign in Central Europe. Next to Central Europe, the uprising after their devastating defeat in 1805. They were coming back, man, in 1809, and so this is like a very turmoil in Napoleonic in the series or campaigns. Is that he was tied up in Spain with actually over 300,000 of his best troops, from the Grande Armée that had been with him. They were tied up in Spain in all kinds of campaigns and conquests and fighting. It was really a bogged down situation, and he was trying to raise like an army to have in Europe, because he had very few soldiers there left in France and in the conquered nowadays Germany and stuff. So Bavaria, maybe it's called, beyond the Rhine there. Anyway, so he was raising troops and he was rallying, but I think the Austrians had managed to raise an army of over 300,000, like 350 or 370,000 men. So they were like huge army there, and they were ready to and they also changed their military doctrine. I read that they were more fighting now in Napoleon's invented warfare, basically. So he was like facing armies that were about his equal now, that was using the same tactics and same setup as his own army, which made him not so unique. But so these titles actually all are happening simultaneously there, and so is Wellington's Peninsular War. It's actually, because this title is huge, man. They got this title is packed with stuff. they have so much stuff in this. There's over 180 scenarios, man. And I think there are like 3 linked campaigns and stuff in this as well. It's huge title. So let's just go to news. I think there's a better description here. Yeah, so by the winter of 1808 and 09, Napoleon's bid to subdue Spain and Portugal had already gone badly off script. So what began as an attempt to enforce the continental system and reshape the Spanish Bourbon monarchy spiraled into full-scale occupation, and that was tied up hundreds of thousands of troops there. And there's some really big famous battles there. I haven't actually read that much of the Spanish campaign, but it seems to be very extensive and lots of famous battles there. So the title also has early engagements. Early in the from 09 up to like 1813, I would imagine. So here we go. The early years of the wars were vicious fighting across Spain. In the east, General Suchet carved out the reputation as perhaps Napoleon's most effective peninsular commander. And then in Portugal, Wellesley combined offensive thrust with carefully prepared defensive lines after checking Massena's 1810 invasion. So, they came back and pushed the French out of Portugal, secured the border. And by 1812, the strategic balance had shifted, with French resources increasingly consumed by commitments in Russia and Central Europe. Yeah. So we know that in 1813, it's the invasion of Russia as well. So, there was a lot going on, man. You would think, like in the Second World War, that Germany was like, tied up in lots of stuff. But this was exactly the same thing in the Napoleonic Wars. And then the following year brought the climax of the Peninsular War. In summer of 1813, Wellingtons maneuvered around the French positions in northern Spain, threatening their lines of communication, in fact, forcing King Joseph and his marshals back towards Victoria. So lots of shit, man, went down in this. Very interesting. So there's some good descriptions here. It's also in the Almighty Notes, comes with the game there. So since I haven't covered this game yet, I'm going to do my regular. We're going to go through what comes with it, what's in it, and stuff. So it's also, the Peninsula was one of the longest, the most drawn-out campaigns in the Napoleonic Wars. So, it was a bit like the for the Germans, Operation Barbarossa. It tied them down. From the outset, it was clear that it would be impossible to incorporate all the actions of the conflict into a single game. All right. So the first title in the series, Bonaparte's, the one we've covered, focused on the defense of Portugal and the 3 successive French efforts to capture the country: 07, 00, 08, 09, and 10 and 11 there. With the last of these campaigns also including the fighting for the strategically vital border fortress of Ciudad Rodrigo. Okay. So the second title completes the picture. So this Wellington then focuses on 4 main campaigns. Firstly, that of late 1808 into the January 1801, when Napoleon intervened in the peninsula in person and led the veterans of the Grande Armée to join the survivors of the failed first invasion and sought to crush the armies of Spanish juntas and the British under Sir John Moore. So lots of stuff in this, man. So this is pretty good. They got 184 scenarios, man. 3 link campaigns. So there's one in 09, 12, and 13, making operational decisions about march routes, engagements, and reinforcements while living with the consequences in subsequent battles. Seems pretty cool, man. Technical level is 100-meter hexes and 10 to 50-minute turns there, right? So there's French, British, Portuguese, and Spanish formations, along with additional units of the hypothetical situations. So lots of stuff in this game, man. There's the Almighty Notes, 20 pages long. It basically talks about what I just said. There are some descriptions about certain rules. No detachment So these include the no detachment melee optional rule, which prevents out of command units from initiating offensive melees, while units defending in melee now fire at 100% effectiveness. Okay, so there's a few changes there, but the game has undergone a lot of changes. So we're up at 409.3 now. So there's lots of enhancements and bug fixes since I covered last time. I think there's been a round of updates since then. Yeah, so they go on about the whole campaign basically here, written in text. We have the historical background, preload, the Peninsular War background, Spanish campaign, 1808, many famous battles there. Second siege of Zaragoza, east coast of Spain. There's a lot of information here, man. East coast of Spain, Suchet campaigns. And it goes on and on and on, man. There's loads. Wellingtons 1812 campaign. Yeah, so there's a bunch of information here, but in broad strokes is what I'll be talking about there. But there's lots of detail and stuff. It's pretty cool, man. Seems to be a lot to unpack in this title. You have getting started. I think there might be 2 parts to it. We have 2 different ones here. One is in 1810 and one is 1812. I wonder if it says, yes, they want you to play the first one there. So, all right. And I think they will go over that. So I wonder why there's 2. It might be something that they bring up here. Or not. Oh, hold on, what's this? Yeah, there's something else here. Could be. The second scenario you may wish to try, also geared towards the training mission. It is this one here, yeah. Margalef as French against Spanish AI. So there's 2 different kinds. It will take time for you to learn how to use the forces and manage their intended. Combined arms tactics are central in Napoleonic warfare. Okay, so there's 2 scenarios for you to play there. It's pretty cool. You know, could do one of those for Let's Play, and then it just starts. It just kicks off here. They're not actually in chronological order. They're more in alphabetical order, I noticed. So yeah, they're more in but these, if it says AI, it's scripted to AI basically. I think all of them are. Most of them are. So there's a shitload here, man. Loads. Here's something that might not be Alcanis. Could be different variations, okay. Yeah, and I think these are not. Well, they could be scripted, I guess, but I think they're meant to be played. Since it doesn't say AI, I think they're probably meant to be done like PBM. So there's loads, so much stuff. I haven't actually checked out the campaign, what that looks like. So yeah, there was 3 campaigns there. Pretty cool. Just gonna see if we start one up for fun here. So okay, Yeah, you get the normal ones. Whoops. That tell you the story a bit, what you need to do, and then there's usually some sort of decision to be made, and then like alternate setups or something. It's pretty cool. So 3 campaigns, man, comes with it as well. User manual these days is 110 pages, so not overwhelming actually. Like, you have some manuals that are up to 250 pages, man, but this one is pretty good, and always well designed, good for searching if you look for something for keywords and stuff. So very well. We have the change log there, so pretty damn cool, man. So yeah, what do I know? I don't know many famous battles here, but we could just kick something off to see graphics and stuff. Lots of things. Probably have to check that document with the notes. So they had the order of battle. Yeah, so there was probably big changes here during this war. Cavalry coding for the most part self-explanatory. All right. Artillery has been coded as foot, horse, depending on designation. So historical background. They really should have, what they don't have in this title is like a scenario, a compilation that you could have a look at. There's a scenario editor help file. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, this is just for editing and stuff. You wouldn't be doing that if you don't know what you're doing. No, so it would be the historical. You probably have to follow the notes here a bit, to find out what came with, or just read a book or watch a YouTube video. So the focus is on 4 main campaigns. Yeah, okay. So this is the Maida campaign. This must be in Bonaparte's. I don't think it's in this. They had the Peninsular War background there, so I think his initial plan was to seize ports and stuff to deprive the British from trading and stuff. So that was one of the goals, to annex or take over Spain basically, and Portugal there. So this 1808 Spanish campaign. So these are probably in the game for the campaigns that was meant to be decided at the War in Peninsula. Napoleon mustered an Armée de Espagne, like Army of the Spain, of 6 corps plus the Imperial Guard and Cavalry Reserve of the Line Corps 1, 5, and 6 were veteran formations from the Grande Armée, and 1 corps had a veteran division as well as 2 divisions of Poles, Germans, and Dutch. It had over 200,000 troops available, with more coming up in the reserve. Okay, the Spanish had a substantial number of troops massing on the line of the Ebro, but these formed the armies of the various insurgent juntas. Okay. So, what does it say? Napoleon therefore sought to destroy the Spanish armies before either the Spanish reserves or British could reach the front. However, Marshal Lefebvre, commanding 4th Corps, made a premature attack against Blake's Ejército de Galicia at Zornoza. Maybe that was the one I played in the first... in Bonaparte's Peninsular War. I think it might have been. It's actually in here as well. The second siege of Zaragoza. Oh no, there's a Sonoza. The Battle of Zornoza, despite order to maintain on the defensive, was keen to win a pitched battle against the Blake Spaniards. Advancing under cover of the dense fog, The French quickly drove into the enemy's first line, but the Spanish rallied on the San Martin heights. However, Blake had already pulled back his single battery artillery, and he now decided to order a general retreat. It says a French player against the Spanish. I'm just going to fire this up. Okay. Yeah, so that game looks like these days. I think the graphics are really nice now in the Napoleonics. There's probably some really cool map mods and stuff, but this is the game from the shelf, basically, vanilla version here. 3D looks pretty badass these days as well. I like it. Turn off the hex grids. Alright, some pretty big squadrons there. Yeah. Laval. Elite. Sebastiani. Here's the commander-in-chief. We have Marshal Lefebvre. That's the dude. He's in charge of this whole corps commander. So what's this then? It's the division. Armée d'Espange. Yeah, Army of Spain. Okay. Yep. So the Spanish are pretty badass still. You know, they're pretty good troops here. Big formations. So pretty cool. Although defeated, the Spanish were able to withdraw and regroup, and thus the northern wing of the Napoleon's advance was compromised from the outset. Reinforced by a veteran division under La Romana that had been deployed to Denmark but evacuated back to Spain by the Royal Navy, Blake was even able to counterattack and struck against Marshal Victor at Valmaseda. However, Victor was out of revenge and eventually defeated Blake in a 2-day battle. Espinosa de los Monteros. Wonder what that is then. Oops. Is this, could be this Espinosa? Different versions. Default. With the following movement threat disorders on. Designed as a French player against the AI. Yeah, French player as well. So this would this be the next engagement? Wow. Huge army, man. So I guess the French are arriving. Who's first, anyways? French turn. All right. Yeah. So there's troops coming. All right. Cool. Looks like a fun battle. Pretty many fun battles in this. Valmaseda? I wonder if that's like one you can actually pick. Guess not. Valencia? No. So maybe it's only the scenarios that are like in black that are, you know. Meanwhile, the Ejército de Extremadura was defeated on 10th of November at Gamonal near Burgess. Gamonal. Here we are. 12 turns. Battle of Gamonal. The inexperienced Spanish general rashly decided to march out of Burgos and deploy a small 10,000 strong army in an open plain with a large wood in front of his position that would enable the French infantry to approach under cover. The French cavalry on the left and center swiftly swept away the outnumbered Spanish horsemen and then smashed into the Spanish foot before they had time to form square. Meanwhile, the French infantry on the left emerged from the woods and vigorously assaulted and scattered the remaining Spanish infantry. That sounds god awful. It's fired up. See what it looks like. Wow, look at this. Woods. It's orchards. Sorry. Yeah, it must be the cavalry here. We got dragoons. And some more cavalry here. Infantry in the center. More coming in. Wow, lots of troops here. Wow, these guys are dead meat, man. Wow, I wonder if it's possible. He's got some cavalry here. 298 horses. Yeah, so all infantry and stuff. Militia. Wow, looks like a tough fight. Yeah, so it goes on and on. The second siege of Zaragoza, then you have the East Coast. Yeah, it looks good, man. I like it. Lots of stuff in here. We're going to try to pick a scenario and we're going to duke it out. We're going to go try to remember and go through some Napoleonic battles, tactics. I forgot a lot of it, but be fun to get back into it. So yeah, man, game of the week. This is probably a nice title to get if you, because I think you get a big bang for the buck. You know, there's lots of campaigns and lots of scenarios in this, even though it might not be your favorite theater in the Napoleonic Wars. I think it's still very fun. I think it could be very fluent and even, you know, be playing the British and the Spanish, you would be sort of an underdog in many fights, but also you know, interesting to take on remnants of the La Grande Armée. So yeah, bunch of scenarios here, man. Lots to go through. Yeah, so I think I might end it here, and we could going to go more in detail as I fire a battle up here. If you guys have any like any requests or anything that you know that it would be fun to play, please write in the comments, and I will you know, have a look at it. But I think there's so many really good engagements here. I mean, many are not. Okay, these are pretty big, 25 turns and stuff, but there are many like smaller engagements as well that seem pretty fun. So it'd be fun to try something really early as well. So yeah, good thing we're gonna end it here, and we're gonna pick up. I'm gonna resume some. I wrapped up the squad battle series now, so we still got past campaigns Kyiv there. We have quite a lot left to do in that particular battle, and what else is there? There was another title. Yeah, Stalingrad. Started playing Stalingrad as well. But this seems to be fun. It'd be fun to go back to the old Napoleonics, man. You know, horses and guns. It'd be fun to actually play it in 3D. I think I'll mix it up because many of you guys like it when I play it in 3D, and many hate it and wanted me to do 2D. So we'll have to do every other episode, I think. Yes, I want to thank you for watching, man. I'm going to wrap it up here. My cold's getting really bad. And I will try and get some episodes recorded this week. So I want to thank you guys for watching, man. And I will see you in the next parts, man. Have a good one.